So the mic's cut off. Little technical issue that I don't know how the fuck happened, but we were basically just talking about how there's no actual preparing except for obviously buying stuff and things like that. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about when it came to that?
Not much besides like um, I'm just hoping right now that she carries to full term because like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thought of the baby like popping out a week like we got like 3 weeks to go and like we're really at the point now where anything could fucking happen. Like she could have the baby tomorrow if something goes
Oh
wrong.
yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So like that's the craziest part right now is just trying to hoping you have all the time you can to be prepared. I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you said she's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
July
I,
10th.
I, I don't think you really have too much to worry about because I know I was like I think 2 weeks premature because I was supposed to be born. I think like they estimated the same day as my sister,
Oh
which
wow.
she's born like the 28th. I think if I'm wrong, but either way, it's December after
Yeah,
mine. I know that.
yeah.
So either way, I was born like a few weeks early, and it's like I don't have any major issues.
Dude, I was born a month early.
Yeah, see, there you go, man.
I was a
Shit,
fucked
if
up
it.
baby. It's a good thing I stayed alive. They
Well,
had
man.
me in a machine and everything. But
Well,
but I think no, I think she's gonna do fine.
she will,
It's
man.
just the anything could happen. So that's
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like it's not even like babies are just so sensitive. They're so like their health, their immune system's not built. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah.
like there's a lot to be worried about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like a lot of it's not even in anybody's control.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You
That's
know
the
what I
thing.
mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of it right now is just up to fate.
Definitely, man. But all will go well,
Yeah,
man.
I'm fucking stoked. It's
Hell
the
yeah.
most excited I've ever been for anything in my life. You know what I mean? And I'm not. I always thought I'd be nervous for something like this, but like even since the start, like I mean, there was anxieties in the beginning, but like I'm not nervous because like first and foremost, I have a great partner, and I know she's gonna kill it.
Hell yeah.
And I don't know, you can never be ready, but I'm ready. I've like the last couple years were to the point where like that's what that's something I'm interested in life. It's the next step. It's what I want. Like I'm stoked to be a fucking father and mend something, mend somebody's life. So
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to life, I feel like that is almost the main purpose of
yeah,
life
yeah,
is to procreate and create your own, seed and
yeah,
whatnot. I mean, it's like because at the end of the day, I feel like, it's not even like don't get me wrong, finding love and everything like that is also a key to life, but like it's just something different when you know that your gene like you will be part of something else, you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because like it's not even just genetics, like that is like that's you, that's half, that person is half of you, you know what I
yeah,
mean? So like even when you inevitably pass, you'll still be alive
yeah.
in some way or another, you know what I mean?
Speaking of having seeds and fucking, have you seen Bo is Afraid? Or heard
Dude,
of it?
I have a note about that because we're definitely going to be getting into some
It's just
movies and stuff like that.
it's
I
just
have
too
not
perfect.
seen it yet.
It's just too perfect because I was thinking about uh, I guess let's talk. Can we talk about this one aside from the movies because it has to do with like pretty much the whole point of that movie is the kid's born to his mom and the dad leaves and the mom tells the kid that if he comes he's gonna die, he can't have sex. Well, and the dad didn't, she doesn't tell the kid that the dad left. She told the kid the dad died when he fucked her.
Oh shit.
When he came, he died.
What?
So like this dude's whole life, he like
That's
he
crazy. What?
and like he's got huge nuts. Like his nuts are fucking ginormous.
All right, dude, I gotta see this movie now. And I'm not gonna lie, that is the farthest thing from what I was expecting from the trailer.
It's crazy.
Bo's Afraid is one of those things where like I saw the trailer and I was like, I have no clue what this is about.
And that was on purpose. He didn't want anybody to fucking know. But
Ari Aster's brilliant for sure.
it was an awesome movie to bring my pregnant girlfriend to see. Like I'll just say that. Like that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I thought about buying it yesterday
You
to
should.
watch it. Yeah,
You
I'm
should.
gonna buy it. I probably will buy it today. Yeah.
It's not even just a movie. That is an experience. It's fucking 3 hours long too. Like
Shit, yeah.
smoke something really good. get a chair and put like a blanket over your TV so you're in like a boot. Like, dude, it's
Yeah.
just like the fucking most.
Save it for a mushroom trip or something.
I mean, you don't even need mushrooms. Like,
oh no, his directing's crazy.
Like you feel, it'll make you feel like you're fucking tripping without even being. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking.
So I want to talk about this real quick, just because we were talking about like you don't need them. You know that myth that they talk about where if you take acid and you crack your spine, you'll fucking start tripping.
I've been trying that for fucking the last 10 years. I've been trying to get that high school acid out of my spine.
Yeah, I swear to God, like I've only taken LSD 2 times, 1 tab at a time, nothing crazy, right? Yeah. I've never since then really had anything that's made me.
Flashbacks are made up.
But what's interesting is like sometimes I feel like some psilocybin is still roaming in my system. Shrooms are a little different, yeah. I feel like that shit kind of can almost live within you for a while.
Well, there was a while where I was fucking microdosing. Casey, fucking dude, Casey. It's legal out there, y'all. So Casey gave me a bunch of mushrooms that he grew. And I was fucking, like when I was younger, I liked going hard, but I got too much anxiety to do that. So like, I like going small dose, fucking like. So I would eat a stem or like a cap each day, and like, I went for a good like 2 weeks where I was pretty much microdosing every day, and it's crazy how like a different of a thing it is because it's not like you're tripping. I would almost compare it to like Adderall. Like a stimulant, because it's
definitely because your senses get very heightened.
And I highly suggest that shit to anybody who like has a hard time just getting through the day, having loss of motivation, stuff like that. Microdose a little bit because it's.
I'm gonna be honest, right? Because I've talked a little bit about mushrooms on this podcast because I really like they helped me get rid of my nicotine dependency. I really wanted to stop, and I don't have a problem with cigarettes or vaping. I'll still hit a vape. I'll still smoke a cig. I mostly smoke, like, cigars and stuff now, but, like, I was at a point where, like, most nicotine addicts, no judgment, folks, no judgment. You wake up, you need nicotine. Yeah. You know what I mean? Within a couple hours, you need more. You know what I mean? And I knew how unhealthy it was, and especially vaping. Cigarettes, you have to go outside, so you're limited at some point. Like when you go to work, you can't just.
Right.
But when I would go back and forth between cigarettes and vaping, and when you vape, goddamn, you can hit that shit anywhere. So you're hitting it like you don't even know how many times you hit your vape in a day.
You're just sucking on it all fucking day.
Exactly, and I was like, I know how unhealthy this was, and like after my first mushroom trip, which was a heroic dose, I was like pretty much completely cured. I mean, it took me a couple weeks after, but eventually I was like, I don't have an urge. Like I don't need nicotine anymore. I can even go a day or two without smoking cigars. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I smoke cigarettes, but like, it's weird as it sounds. I am a what's the word? Social smoker, but also like I smoke at work just because it fucking gives me a break.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean? Like I got an extra break. But, like, I could go home, like, and not smoke, like, all night, or, like, But when I wake up and I go to work, I need a fucking cigarette, and, like,
I think,
after lunch, I need a cigarette, like.
I think stress smoking is what makes you addicted. Yeah. Because, like, everybody smokes cigarettes at first just as a fucking, whatever,
Yeah, it makes you look cool, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not what gets you addicted.
Yeah, it makes you look like Johnny Depp,
Yeah, what gets you addicted is when your high school girlfriend breaks up with you, and then you're all fucking upset, and then you smoke a cigarette, and you're like, I feel so much better. Yeah. And then the next time you get pissed about anything, you're like, you know what would be great right now? Fucking cig. Yeah, so that's what really gets you addicted. But no, man, it's kind of interesting you brought up about the growing and stuff like that. We'll talk later. But nah, man, I really want to like focus my next trip on like, there's nothing wrong with weed, but I feel like people sort of have this like false thing where they say it's not really addicting. It's not physically addicting, but like I don't know, man.
Weed is an addictive fucking drug. I'll tell you that.
Yes, thank you. Like I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the dependency that I have to marijuana, and I'm trying to break it. But it's been the hardest thing for me so far. Like I have, especially because of we were talking a little bit earlier about my dad and stuff. I have control when it comes to alcohol because I have bad life experiences when it comes to alcohol. I know what this shit can do. I know weed's not bad for you, and nothing, when I smoke weed, there's pretty much no bad effects.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like an altered state that I don't need to be in, and sometimes, there's some times where you smoke and you're just like, man.
Why? Did I have to?
Yeah,
yeah.
no.
Did
You
I
know
have
what I
to?
mean? But, like, I've been reading up
I hear
on, like,
that.
habit building and habit breaking and stuff like that, and it's like, when you think about it, like, man, I've made it a habit pretty much since high school.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
like that's why it's hard to break.
I can't tell you the last day I didn't get high. You know what
Guaranteed.
I mean? I could not tell you, but
And like I've always had trouble eating, not with the weed. You know what I mean?
And I've always felt fortunate that my addiction is something like weed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it could be worse. You
Absolutely.
Know what I mean? Like,
And
I'm glad I found weed and I'm not fucking putting stuff up my nose,
Yeah, and it's like it's almost like a downs. Like I feel like when you know people who are addicted to other substances and stuff like that, it's like it's good, but it's bad because it makes addictions like weed and like cigarettes and food and stuff. There's anything that's like really not that bad, but it's still bad. You're like, okay, well at least I'm not like this person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Right.
But
But at the end of the day, an addiction is an addiction.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those things I gotta learn to like, and some days I can, some days I can't.
I mean, it's good that you're trying to get ahead of that at a young age, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's, at the same time, man, like, anybody that grows, like, I'll be honest, like, when it comes to this shit with, my dad and the alcohol and stuff, like, I've gone through shit with, like, that since 4th grade. So, like, I don't know, man, I probably need to go to a therapist about some of that, but, like, sometimes you just like get flashbacks to shit, and I don't know.
Yeah.
And just life in general, man. I work in a warehouse, okay? You know how hard it is to do warehouse work not stoned?
Yeah.
Like, and what's weird is, like, it's so loud in that place, and I didn't notice it until, like, after I did mushrooms. Because I had this moment out in the woods where, like, your stomach gets all, like, turning and shit that.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I started to breathe and try to relax.
Ground yourself, yeah.
And, I'm out in the sticks here in northern Maryland, so there's crickets. There's fucking all sorts of shit.
All sorts of nature ambiance.
It got dead silent for a couple seconds, and I was like, whoa. And it was so, it was so peaceful. It wasn't even like I'm so fucked up. It was just like, whoa. And then when I heard everything again, I was like, it just made me think about how much noise there is at work and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's funny, because, like, the other day, like, I had someone tell me, like, you need to smile more. And I was just thinking, like, shut the fuck up. If there's that song, This Is New York, have you heard that song? So this woman rapper named Scarlett, she did this song about New York, and it pretty much goes like this. This is New York. Fuck I look like telling a good morning. Fuck I look like being nice, sweet, charming, and warming.
Sometimes that's just how you feel.
Yeah, and it's like, well, there's also a video of, I think someone in New York was like, it was a tourist walking down the street, and they were like, good morning. Someone was like, fuck you, don't tell me good morning. It was kind of like that, though.
Yeah.
I didn't say that to the guy. I laughed, and I was like...
thinking, like, shut the fuck up.
Well, I was like, yeah, man. I was like, bro, you don't know what I'm going through.
Oh,
don't tell me to smile, bro. Like, and that's the thing, like, I feel like sometimes my appearance at work, like, people can get intimidated and stuff like that because I have this look on my face, but, like, that's literally just because I'm like, man, fuck this shit. I want to be doing interviews for a living. Well, that's
so at my work, I gotta like call cars in and shit like that. So like a lot of people won't pay attention, and I'll have to fucking scream.
Yeah.
And then they come in and they're like, and it's like, dude, I'm not mad. I just how else you think I'm gonna get your attention when your windows are up, you're in a car, I'm outside, like I gotta yell. I'm not yelling at you because I don't like you or something. I'm just.
Yeah, I saw this post that you had reposted, and it was a Facebook post talking about like sort of the origins, more or less, or like really the early days of Carroll County hardcore.
Oh yeah.
And it was like
Gut Instinct.
Yeah, Gut Instinct. And it was like VHS camera from 1989 to 1992. So I kind of wanted you to talk about that.
So
like what you saw with that.
Well, first and foremost, some of the dudes from Gut Instinct, from what I know, I don't know if they're exactly from Sykesville or but they're from Carroll County, and
right.
I think maybe the Mount Airy area, and just the whole Carroll County region, and all you think when you think of Baltimore hardcore, you think of Baltimore City, and
Absolutely.
there's a lot of stigma right now on like if you're not in or from Baltimore City, it's not Baltimore hardcore. And I just fucking love when a post like that comes around because it's like, shut the fuck up. Like, we live in Carroll County. There isn't a fucking Carroll County
Yeah,
hardcore. There
man.
isn't a fucking Westminster scene. Like, these areas, the bands, we have to go to Baltimore. And like, I
Well,
didn't grow up
yeah.
in Baltimore, but I grew up going to Baltimore because that was the closest spot that I had that had
Exactly.
a scene. You know what I mean? So I just think it's fucking awesome to see stuff like that,
Yeah, well,
and
because guess
especially
what? Hashtag Sykesville hardcore ain't getting no likes,
fuck no,
but
yeah,
Baltimore hardcore, a different
exactly.
story, you know? And, like,
And like,
also, you got to play those venues in Baltimore. That's where most of the
yeah,
venues are. I mean, the
yeah.
big ones, you know?
And like Stout, I was listening to a podcast with Scotty P, and he was talking about I think like how some of their origins were like Ellicott City and like Catonsville and that area and stuff like that. So like, I don't know, man. There's like, Baltimore hardcore goes deeper than fucking Baltimore City.
Absolutely, yeah, man.
So I love to see that aspect of it showcase, and especially somewhere like fucking Sykesville. Like, yo, whatever one of the roads they talk about. Like, my girlfriend used to buy weed from somebody on that road. Like, it's just, it's cool when that type of stuff touches like close to your like home. You know?
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like obviously like I represent certain bands from Baltimore and stuff like that, but like there's not a day that I'm not going to be like, "Oh, I'm from Westminster. I'm
Yeah,
from Carroll County."
yeah,
Like Cowtown. Like
yeah.
I like the Suckawut bio. Didn't y'all change it to like Cowtown music or something like that?
Probably.
I was like that's funny as hell.
And that's why in the one song I say Westminster hardcore, because like, it's cool.
Definitely.
Like I said, all my bands I've been in, everybody lives far apart. And like, we all are right here. Like, this is Westminster hardcore. Like,
Definitely.
I'm playing music with my boys in our town. Like, it's just, I want to put a little bit of a name on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, Westminster hardcore ain't ever gonna be a big thing, but like, when I did that, like, some of the dudes were kind of like, "Are you sure you want to say that?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, I want, like, this
Well,
is
yeah, I
this is
mean,
where we're from. This is what we're doing.
yeah, like I would feel fake if I would go out of Maryland and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm from Baltimore." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, I'm
No,
not. Like, I can represent sports teams and music and stuff like that, but like, I'm not from Baltimore, you know?
now,
And
if it
there's
comes down to Ocean City or Baltimore, you're from fucking Baltimore.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah.
that's the thing, and we are in an area close enough that
And
like,
that's what you reference. Like,
yeah,
you go to Kentucky and someone's like, "Hey, where are you from?" You're like, "I'm from Westminster, Maryland." They're like, "Where's that?" You're like, "It's
near
like 40
Baltimore.
minutes from
Yeah,
Baltimore." They're like, "Oh, okay." Cause like pretty much like Baltimore is all we're known for, more
yeah,
or less, and
yeah,
like maybe probably Annapolis, you know what I
exactly.
mean?
But that's fucking pretty much DC and shit anyway.
Yeah,
So
exactly. So another post that I'd kind of saw, I wanted to bring up the first thing because like I saw that and I was like, that's awesome.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Because we
definitely.
like part of this podcast is to get an archive on the scene and stuff like that. So I wanted to talk about some real early shit, you
Yep,
know.
yep.
But I also saw you mentioned Life of Jam's music. You said it's not the first stage I cut my teeth on. So I'm assuming there's a couple instances where you fucked your teeth up at some shows.
Well, no, 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 no. That's just like the phrase "cutting your teeth." Like, you just getting into shit, making your mark. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
I
But
gotcha.
so what that meant is that picture was. I guess I should back up a little more. James Music Store was a music store slash venue in Eldersburg when I was
Okay.
young. Um, their original location is where I started playing and booking shows at, and then they moved to their second location, which is actually, if you know where the Walmart is in Eldersburg, the fucking big ass super Walmart. Before they put that in, it was a mall,
Okay.
and like a shitty mall, like even worse than fucking Westminster,
Oh damn, that's saying a lot. Yeah.
bad. And they moved over there, and the picture that the dude Neely shared was like, in like, right before they finished the stage, when like they had everything like being set up and like getting ready before the place was open, and like, I started booking shows and doing stuff with Neely like kind of near the end of the original jams. So like, when they moved and when they were planning all that stuff, like, I was young, but I was going and hanging out with him and like, watching over all the shit he was doing, and like pretty much watching, the music store was handled by different people, but the actual showroom and the sound was this dude Neely Johns, who's from Westminster, fucking
Okay.
Carroll County legend, Carroll County Extreme Music Corps. Um, he's at,
Neely Johns?
yeah, he's in a band called Carbon Stone.
Carbon Stone.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, it's more rocky than our stuff, but
Nah, that's fine.
endless fucking respect to that dude.
I'll
They,
try. I'll reach.
yeah.
I'll try to reach out to
Yeah,
that dude.
no, he would be a fucking great person to talk to because
Hell yeah.
he was the dude. Like I said, he was the dude fucking doing the shows and pretty much giving Eldersburg what little of a scene we had. So
Hell yeah.
when they switched locations, I was like I said, I kind of was observing it all, and I got started booking shows when I was like fucking 15, maybe 8th grade, however old you are in 8th grade. Nearly had me start booking. So like, I
Okay.
threw
Shit.
the second jams when they moved locations. Like I threw some fucking ragers there. Like we used to do a show every year for me and my friend Jeff's birthday called Swine Pit,
Okay.
and we did at least like 3 or 4 Swine Pits of jams. And
So when you do put together a show, like obviously you got to find a place that would put on the show, and
Yep.
I'm assuming they require some sort of money up
Yep.
front to book the space. Because like I eventually am gonna do a Harbor Discussions
Yeah.
festival with all the bands I've interviewed and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get like logistics down and stuff like that. So obviously I know I gotta book the space
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So then when it comes time to sell the tickets and stuff like that, I'm assuming does all that money pretty much go right back to you more or less?
So the way it works, at least the way, and this is all when I was like a fucking kid. So
Right.
Like, I don't do this. I haven't done this in fucking years.
Right, but that's basically the
so
position
what I would
I'd be
what I
in.
would do is you rent the space out for however much.
Right.
Luckily, that space came with the sound guy Neely,
yeah.
who I would also pay out to Neely, and then pretty much whatever you make after that, split up between bands. And if you have enough to take anything home, you take something home. But
Yeah, right.
it all depends on who's playing, where they came from, how much they drove.
Right,
Luckily,
right.
back then, like none of the bands I fucked with had guarantees. I brought fucking Psycho Enhancer all the way from Long Island, and like I don't even remember how much I paid them. I was a fucking kid, and they bought me 40s and shit too. Like, fucking endless respect for those
Hell
dudes.
yeah.
Driving from New York to play for probably nothing, like.
Guaranteed.
And they showed up, and they were like, "He's a fucking kid." I would love to know what the fuck they thought when they showed up and they saw me, because I was, like I said, I was a fucking kid, like not even like a young adult, like.
Right.
So yeah, James was the shit.
Hell
Fucking-
yeah. So I wanted to also talk about Bereave more, because you posted a flyer from the sidebar like 6 years ago. First of all, I saw a band name called Kill Bosby, and I had to fucking like write that down.
So I actually played with Kill Bosby that night.
Okay.
It was my friend Kyle, who used to play in Dead Gods back in the day, moved to Georgia, I think. And I think Dead Gods was playing that show, and he wanted to play with them. And he was like, "If I fly back from Georgia, can my band play?" And they were like, "Fuck yeah," but he didn't have a drummer, so I was like, "I'll play drums." I couldn't tell you now at all what any of those songs sounded like, or like the fact that I played it and made it work. Looking back is fucking insane, but yeah, I played with Kill Bosby. There's probably music up online somewhere.
It's a funny name.
It was awesome to play in a band with Kyle, because that's another dude who I grew up just watching playing bands.
I'm assuming it's just supposed to be like the first
Oh,
two
yeah,
letters
yeah.
reversed and whatnot. It's just funny though, cause like obviously that was way before the Bill Cosby fucking.
No,
like-
that was when that was
Really?
like, yeah, because
It's been that long, huh?
yeah, that was probably around like 2015.
No
2016.
shit, goddamn.
And like I don't know if that was when he was getting arrested, but it was definitely when people were starting to talk about it.
It's crazy to
Bill
think
got
that
that
that's
dog
almost...
in him.
It's crazy that it's almost been fucking 10 years since then, man. 2015 feels like 5 years, but it's
Well,
been like more like
If
10.
you talk to any fucking body, if you ask them what last year is, they'll probably say 2019. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean-
ever since 2020, we might be in 2023, but it was like all that time was still just yesterday. You know what I mean?
It really does feel like that, man. I mean, it might just be like did just get out of high school recently, but like after that, it's really just like
Oh yeah.
snap, snap,
Oh, yeah.
snap, snap.
Yeah.
So about Bereave, like how did that band form and stuff like that?
Once again, another band that I was extremely fucking lucky to just be thrown in with like dudes that I had been watching play.
Right.
So, Bereave originally started as a 3-piece. It was me playing drums, Dr. Neck, Jake, who was in. I think I first saw him in Watership Down. No, The Covenant, then Watership Down, Dead Gods, Lurker. Um,
Are any of these bands still around?
no, he plays. I think the most current band he was with was Lay Waste.
Okay.
Um,
All right, shit.
if he's got something going on now and I'm blanking, I'm so fucking sorry, brother. Um, and then it was me, Jake, and Alex Schuhart. Alex was from Call Me a Dreamer, which was a band I really, really fucking liked when I first started going to Baltimore and like go into fucking Baltimore hardcore shows and stuff like that. They were like hardcore, but also like Scrams influenced, like emo, like raw screaming and like
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff that was like I was previously interested in before I kind of got into the harder side of things. But so it was us three.
Everyone starts there. I
Yeah.
started with, Asking Alexandria
Yeah,
and shit
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
It was us three, and we put out an EP. We split a fucking practice space with Dead Gods, which was awesome. Cause like so to kind of set the scene, Dead Gods and Call Me a Dreamer were all like the dudes that like when I started going to Baltimore were like playing all the cool shows that I went to, and like I quickly became like part of that group. And at that point I wasn't really in any cool bands or anything like that, so I kind of had like I don't want to say imposter syndrome, but like it was weird because like that was the first time I was thrown into a band with like people that were kind of mentors of me.
I mean, sometimes you feel like when you're not involved as much as other people that like are you really a part of it? Cuz like I start thinking sometimes like, man, I don't go to as many shows as I should, like, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like if
Fuck
you
it,
do,
you gotta do what you gotta do. Life happens. You
e-
live your way.
exactly,
But
exactly.
but it was cool. Like I started jamming with those dudes, and things happen. Times went on. Alex left the band, and Dan joined. Dan Posner, who another fucking dude from bands I loved. He was in Friends with a Ghost with Dane, Misfortunes, Endless Abyss, which was an old band he had with Casey. Just another fucking local Mount Airy Fire Hall legend.
Hell yeah.
He plays in Noxious now.
Sick.
Metal Dan, the fucking dude. But yeah, so Dan joined, and then at that point, like Dane had been in bands, but Dane was just always hanging out with us, and Dr. Neck was like, he was doing vocals and bass, and we thought, if we could get a bass player in and Dr. Neck would just do vocals, everything would it would give us a little bit easier time and everything would flow better. So we just brought Dane in, and when it was like that, it was fucking perfect because then it was just like the four of us were fucking thick as thieves. Like
Right.
that was my first band where I played out of state some, and like we got to do stuff. It was my first band I really got to do stuff with.
Now, if I remember, you got to jam with Turnstile like way back in the day,
Now
right?
that was okay. So that was with Instigate.
Instigate.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was
See, I remember you saying that, and I just remember you talking about some of these way earlier bands. And stuff.
Dan was an Instigate as well. So
yeah,
Dan,
so talk about Instigate too, because I just
Shit.
wanted to talk more about these early bands that we sort of
Yeah.
glimpsed over in the
Yeah.
first interview.
So Instigate, that I mean that I guess if we want to talk about it, that was my first band that kind of did stuff, but we didn't do a lot. It was very short lived. It was me. It started off me, my friend Brady, my friend Screeve, and Matty Breen. And Brady didn't play with us for long, and Dan joined. So it was me, Screeve, Dan, and Marty, Marty. He fucking a band full of fucking characters, but we just played fucking generic hardcore, and it was the first band I was in that recorded music, and I mean not even really, but like. Cause I had metalcore bands before that and shit like that, but like the first serious like we started going to the art space, and like people like Anton and like Justice from TUI noticed us.
Yeah,
and,
we're
like,
gonna bring him up later on something.
we got asked to play the TUI show, which like at the time TUI was my favorite band. Like
Hell
that,
yeah, man.
That's like what got me into hardcore.
I'm always and for anybody that's listening, I'm always trying to get better interviews for you guys. And trust me, I reach out to so many bands. I reach out to big people. If y'all ever want to see like Trapping Under Ice, Turnstile, anybody like that, like shit, fucking comment on their shit, yo. Y'all
Yeah.
need to get on Harbor discussions and
Hey,
shit.
Justice, hop on this shit, man.
I've reached out, but here's the thing, man.
He's a busy guy. Oh
Yeah, and like not even just that. Like when someone has tens of thousands of followers, I can't get mad that they don't see my shit. But like I'm saying, I email, I do all sorts of shit. It's gonna happen one day. Justice will be on this fucking show one day.
That'd be an awesome interview.
Hell yeah.
Essex legend. But yeah, so that was like he had noticed us. If I remember correctly, he was gonna produce like an EP or something for us and like help us out, but we fucking broke up because we were kids. And,
Right.
You know, didn't know what was going on, and like Screeve was a fucking nut in those days, and like, you know, I should have killed him 10 times over for the way he acted. But you know, we were kids and we were learning it, and it was all fun. It laid the groundwork. But so Instigate was quick and it happened, but Bereave was really the first one that I truly think the popularity and the recognition that Butchers doesn't got was because of the seeds I planted with Bereave. You know what I mean?
For sure, man. I mean, everything leads up to what is meant to be.
Yeah, I mean, because especially with like me and Dane, like I don't want to say it was half the same band, but like it was all the same type of formula. It was just pretty much, if I'm thinking about my life, the next step of Jake. You know what I mean? Like everything I've done has kind of been a crescendo into like being a more evolved, extreme version of the next thing. You know what I mean?
I was gonna ask when it comes to like thinking back on life, when it comes to playing with Turnstile, Trapped Under Ice, and stuff like that. Is that sort of shit that is like highlighted in your head?
Oh, for sure, yeah. That was like, and like I said at the time, Trapped Under Ice was one of my favorite bands. So getting not only like it wasn't like we fucking asked. You know what I mean? It wasn't like we bombarded fucking whoever was booking the show. Justice straight up found us and was like, "Yo, you kids are cool. Like, do you want to fucking play?" And like, and let me tell you, for the record, the Turnstile set of that show was a little bit wilder than the TY set. So it's been a long time coming to see what that band has become.
Oh yeah, it's insane. I mean, and like even Trapped Under Ice, they're one of the biggest names. Not even just in Baltimore hardcore, just in hardcore.
Well, you see that post that's going around? I guess
that guy who was like,
"Who is this band?
Trapped Under Ice." I it's like it's cool to see they're finally getting recognition and all that. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, but I thought about writing that down as a note, but I wasn't sure.
That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, so for those of you who are listening and don't know, Trapped Under Ice has been around in the Baltimore hardcore scene. They're claimed to have
Since
like
2007.
Right, and people, there's people out there that will say that they basically founded a certain style of hardcore. Now, there was a post going around of someone who clearly has just found out about Trapped Under Ice, which is fine.
Well, we also got to take into account that they took like a 4 to 5 year break.
Right.
So like when they were the biggest they had ever gotten, they stopped and Turnstile and Angel Dust formed. And now Trapped Under Ice has the luxury of playing shows again.
Yep.
But I guess that's what's confusing people.
Yeah, so either way, this guy made a post, and he's basically assuming that Trapped Under Ice is this new... Yeah, of course, that's for you, brother. They're basically assuming that Trapped Under Ice is this new band that's just starting, and this guy was basically like, I don't know if anyone else has heard of this Trapped Under Ice band, but I see that they're getting pretty big.
Why are they getting such good slots?
Right, yeah, and people are just like, oh my god. Like, and I'll be honest, right? I started getting into hardcore not too long ago and stuff. I'm fairly new to knowledge on Trapped Under Ice, but even I knew how legendary they were to the local scene, and it was like, oh my god.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
But I feel for the guy, cause like, when it comes to anything, man, there's just people that are new to this shit. They don't know better.
I'm gonna just say I feel bad for you. I feel bad for anybody who's gotten into hardcore the past couple of years, because it's a different animal. It's
people on social media.
Internet, the internet's kind of ruined things. It's also kind of given everybody a voice who shouldn't have a voice, but
yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and I've brought this up on my show before, but it's like, and we were talking about Beat Down earlier and stuff like that. There are so many people on Instagram commenting on mosh pit videos that are like,
I love it.
If I were at that show, I'd beat their ass. I don't see
No,
no.
you wouldn't.
Guess
No,
what?
you wouldn't, and you wouldn't go to the show, so it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say.
why are you wasting your time commenting? You're just people are just getting mad for no reason.
Every time I go to a show, I don't see a single person like that.
Yeah.
They don't go. I was gonna say, this is my question. Like, do these type of people actually even
Although
go to
I will
shows?
say, so Internal Bleeding played Cafe 611 probably a year or two ago at this point. And there was some fucking heavy metal dick with like fucking tight pants and a leather jacket on the outside who like every time people would like mosh near him, he'd like fucking swing. So after a while, mind you, I'm fucking tripping on acid, and I'm just watching this like just thinking like, oh, you're gonna like wait one more time. So eventually he does it to somebody, one of my friends, somebody who's moshing. So I just fucking walk up and I punch him in his face, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a badass. And fucking before I know it, some big fucking Shrek dude
Oh man.
comes up behind me and fucking armbar chokes me off my fucking feet.
That's
Dude,
the
my neck was
worst.
sore for like 2 weeks. I was like, I ain't fucking with anybody else for a while. I was like, I really should have just let that one go.
Now that move is pretty much a
Dude,
finisher.
He had me done, man. He had me fucked up.
My first ever fist fight. I'll get into it briefly, I guess. I used to sell a little bit of weed in high school, and there's this kid who got mad that I guess I shorted him a little bit. Okay, he bought like an eighth or whatever, and I gave him like 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wasn't like I fucking ripped him off on like a whole ounce or
Yeah.
nothing. Either way, dead honest, if that dude were to have come to me and said, "Hey man, this was short," I'd give him like a gram for free. I'd be like, "All right, bro."
Yeah, you got me.
So either way, I'm getting super drunk at my friend's house. My best friend at the time. And he tells me that this kid had the audacity to ask him if he would help, like, fight me, jump me. This kid, I guess, didn't know that, like,
he was your boy.
yeah, and not like he's my pal. That's my boy.
Yeah, right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
yeah.
Like, literally, we talk about fucking people up together, and all I could remember was just cackling, because, like I said, we were drunk as hell. So I'm like,
Kid
I
doesn't
will
realize.
fuck him.
Yeah.
You know? So either way, I'm at this party, and he's there at this party. And he's going around to people. I could literally see him going up to people and, like, whispering in his ear. I don't know what he said, but I assume it was something like this.
Probably about you.
Like,
yeah.
yo, I got beef with John, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, you think you could help me beat his ass? And I literally saw people going like, I'm not saying they were scared of me, but like they were cool with me.
Yeah, well,
So
yeah,
they were
well,
like,
yeah,
they're
wasn't
like,
there beef?
they were like, nah, you got it. You got it. So either way, I ended up fighting the dude, but it was funny.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot where I was going with that.
Did he choke you out? Or you choked him
I
out?
remember, no, he didn't choke me out. What's funny is, right, now, I'll be honest, like, I'm small, I'm short. This dude's a lot taller than me. He's definitely got more weight than me. He threw me right to the ground, but instead of just he should have fucking started. He just held me there. So the entire time, I'm literally just.
What a dummy.
But either way, I brought it up because this dude I'm cool with him and whatnot, but he's close with the guy that was throwing this party and stuff like that, and I guess he was kind of like bouncer type of.
Yeah.
Either way, he was splitting up the fight,
Yeah.
and he just he basically just wrapped himself around me, because I'm light as hell. He just picked me up and put me outside.
Come on, buddy.
He didn't hurt me or nothing. He even apologized. He's like, yo, I didn't mean
Had to
to
do what he had to do.
I was like, you're good.
Yeah, that's funny as shit.
Nah, he ended up getting walked out. But it was funny because it was like, I don't know, man. Just if you got a problem, man, just walk up to somebody.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'll be honest. I shorted him a little. But if he really would have came up to me.
You're a kid. Yeah, you
But
you
no,
can
man,
do that one. You can do that then.
Well, yeah, it's like I said. There's a difference between, like, someone's buying a pound and you give them, like, a QP.
Yeah.
Of
Then a fucking half a gram.
Yeah, and then the hamster food for the
Yeah.
That's different than, like, you're selling a 3.5 and you give them a 3.
Yeah.
That's whatever. But if he would have
he's
came up,
missing half a nug.
I don't know. It's just funny. He asked one of my best friends at the time, and I was like, "Dude, get
Idiot.
the fuck out of here!" But
Idiot.
nah, trust me. When that dude got around me and picked me up, I was
No, like I said, man, my throat was sore for like fucking 2 weeks. I thought he like choked something wrong into it. Like, I'm a big dude. Like, I'm a big dude, and he had me off of my feet. So you know this motherfucker was choking me like.
Oh
Hard.
yeah. Nah, he didn't really choke me too hard. It was just more of a pick me up. But yeah, nah, he could have for sure. He was definitely applying some pressure. I was so adrenaline up though. My girlfriend at the time, like she literally tried to like I don't know if she was hugging me or just trying to like hold my hand, but I was so like pumped up with energy. I like literally kind of shoved her off of me.
Back up, bitch.
Yeah, no, and then immediately I was like,
My
sorry.
bad.
I was
My
like,
bad.
I'm so sorry. I'm like, yo,
My
I'm
bad.
still in that mode,
Yeah,
yo. I'm
yeah.
still in that mode. It's kind of crazy. You don't feel shit at the time. Like I don't remember feeling anything, and then I
Yeah.
just remember like going back to her place, and I had fucking like scars.
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
well I tussled a little bit with some dude at the last Key Brewing show, and fucking we leave, and Caroline's like, "Is your head hurt?" And I was like, "No, why?" I fucking had a lump, like fucking huge, and I don't even know what happened. Like it just, I rolled. I think I might have rolled on the ground or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I ended up having to like sort of defend my girlfriend at the time over this dude who was just had always been kind of a piece of shit to her. I told him like, dude, I know you and her like have this history, whatever, but like, I'm not gonna like, the fact that I'm
Fuck
with her
yourself,
now.
pretty much, yeah.
I was like, dude, I can't let you do this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it got to the point.
You'd be a bitch if you did.
Exactly. So either way, he was wearing a ring when we fought, and I like still kind of have the scar on my head somewhere. But he had fucking, his ring caught me in the head, so like I had sort of like a small gash in my head, and I just remember her mom, who she passed away, rest in peace. But she was like, "You need to clean that," and I was just like, but no, she made me like clean it and shit. I was, she was being a mom and whatnot, but it was just funny. So I have a note about this too. Well, yeah. So Sucker What show happened, and this dude got absolutely annihilated. He got kicked right in the fucking face.
Oh yeah, so that was like, oh man, what a night. My buddy Big Funny is all responsible for that. Vocalist of Don't Start None.
Oh shit, cool.
He was supposed to we were playing in Salisbury, which like if you're not familiar with Maryland is like completely a different part of Maryland than we're from.
Oh yeah.
So like
I only know it because there's a college up there.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like you go through it when you go into Ocean City. Like it's the other side pretty much. So I didn't know what to expect. I don't know anybody out there. It was my first show with the band. I think maybe second. Probably actually I think second. And Taylor was supposed to go to some ECW show that night. Big Funny, and for some reason he was like, "Fuck it," because he lives in Delaware, and like where Salisbury is, kind of close to Delaware. So him and Elena decided to come out, and yeah, I wasn't expecting there to be much like going on in the show, but
I'm not good with my geography. Is this like more southern Maryland, or is this?
I couldn't fucking tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm horrible with geography.
Bro, I know Westminster.
Up is down is up. But
I don't even like, and I'll be honest, I don't even like really going into the city too much. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the news and stuff like that. It's just a pain in the ass to drive into Baltimore City.
Yeah, I hate driving in cities. I hate fucking DC's even worse. But either way,
Guaranteed.
So like Taylor shows up to this show, and like luckily like he starts fucking throwing down, and it kind of like it sparked off some shit, and like we got a good ass reaction. And there was at one point fucking he just kicked some dude square in the fucking face. Like it was just perfect time and place.
On accident for people.
Yeah. I mean,
because
well, I don't know how much of an accident it was. I'm gonna be honest with you. We're fucking assholes. I don't think he was trying to hurt the dude, but he. Right. I mean, sometimes you want to get a little bit.
Once
of connection.
you commit. It's one of them. I guess it's one of them.
And this was I mean, let me just say like. This clip has gone viral. It's all over the place.
I was gonna bring that up.
Perfect spin kick, perfect execution, perfect connection. Like the hat gets knocked off the head and everything.
Oh my! And you hear someone. Oh!
Yeah, and luckily somebody was filming it, so like that was
just
it was just perfect time and place.
Didn't the page Not a Push Pit repost it?
A lot of a lot of fucking. I mean, the shitty part is most pages when they post it, they put some other music over it.
Oh yeah.
But either way, it's just fucking crazy because like I wasn't expecting much of that show. The only thing I was looking forward to going to Salisbury was just to eat cookout.
Right.
and it fucking ended up being something that took the band viral. So like,
Yeah.
shout out to Taylor for that. Shout out to fucking Mike and Nate and Billy and Lauren for writing hard ass riffs that want to make people act like fucking animals. So
Hell yeah. I'm gonna take a quick break real quick. Yeah, no, that beer's like running through me.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I chugged like a whole cell. I still have a little bit left because I'm so tired after work. I gotta fucking hit something.
Oh yeah, especially if it's a fucking early morning shift like that. Fuck, dude. If I don't have if I work a Saturday morning, I need fucking a bang or something after my shift, or else I'm going home and I'm taking a nap.
Definitely. One of the Suckawat shows that I wanted to bring up. I saw y'all played with Two Piece, right,
Yeah,
at the
hell
Ugly
yeah.
Sweater show. Two
Okay,
Piece.
so I think that was our first show.
Okay.
That might have been our first show.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to Two Piece.
Definitely one of my favorite bands
Yeah,
that I've gotten into recently.
One of the best albums of this year for sure.
Hell yeah. So did you have anything significant to talk about during that show other than
It
the
was
fact?
just fucking wild, man. It was, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure the fucking promoter and the owner of the fucking venue were mad at me after that one. I mean, like, it was just brutal. Like, I mean, some shows at Shamrock get wild, but this was one of the shows where, like, throughout the night, the pit just kept getting pushed back further and further back to where the point. Terry, the dude who runs it, was like, "All right, like you gotta keep it above this line, like no more." And still, people were like, "It was just pandemonium." My boy Roberto, who's been a fucking, for lack of a better term, a bum for the last 10 years, like a traveler. He was in town for like he tried to live in Maryland for a couple months, and he brought his fucking dog. Man, we had the dog in the building. There was a dog laying behind the pool table while people were jumping off the pool table and everything.
Oh man,
that night was a spectacle for sure.
hell
And
yeah.
I think it was just also special because, like I said, it was the first show with Suckawup. But yeah, that was awesome. I'd really been anticipating that release from Two Piece, so like to get to play with them right after it dropped was
definitely.
it was sick.
Hell yeah. So I saw a post where you were talking about the Flamin' Hot movie. You said it was a great movie.
Yo, everybody watch that. It's on Hulu and Disney. What was his name? Richard. I'm not even gonna try to say his last name because I'll butcher it. But pretty much the dude who fucking made Flamin' Hot Cheetos. I don't know how much they exaggerated in that movie, but that was a great story.
Yeah, no,
I'm used to watching like horror movies and stuff like that. It had been a while since I sat down and just watched a good like from rags to riches fucking heartwarming good story, and like he killed it. Plus, Flamin' Hot Cheetos rule. I mean, like,
hell yeah.
it's awesome because like not to get too into it, but like he kind of saved the Frito Lay company, or at least that's the spin they put on it, because
Okay.
like the chip market was going down, and like they needed something
It's
to
still
reach.
one of the
Yeah.
best chips. I mean,
fuck yeah.
honestly, it's probably the most talked about chip. I mean,
And look, he retired. I think they said he retired in 2019, sitting on
oh boy, yeah.
He was a janitor at the Frito Lay fucking building. That's awesome. That's the type of shit I love to see. You know what I mean? Like, from nothing store. You know what I mean? Like this dude was a janitor, and he would stay on his time off to fucking hang with the fucking dudes who were making the stuff and like running the engineers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because he was truly interested in it.
Yeah, if you ever do watch The Wire, it's funny because there's a scene where like they're eating McDonald's. The guy that I interviewed, Trey Chaney, he's in the scene. He's talking with Michael B. Jordan at the time, and they're talking about McDonald's and they're talking about McNuggets, and he's like, "These shits is right, yo." And they're talking about the guy that invented chicken nuggets, and fucking I think Trey Chaney or someone else was like, "Man, it might have been D'Angelo at the time." He was like, "Man, you think the guy that invented chicken nuggets is rich? He's probably some sad ass motherfucker in the basement of McDonald's." Right. You know what I mean? So it's cool that the guy, like the janitor, actually was able to make it. You know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't know how much of that movie was like played up and shit like that, but I don't know. It was cool, man. It was different than what I'm used to watching, and I definitely it was one of them. Like me and Caroline had a fucking afternoon off, and I usually want to watch something fucked up or something. I was like, let me just take a chance, because like just the idea of a flaming hot movie, I was like, I gotta watch this. It's called Flaming Hot.
Yeah, I had a little note. It's like it can be kind of hard to tell what movies are even worth watching or even going,
Oh, yeah.
especially to go pay and
Oh
see.
yeah.
Two movies that have come out recently are Cocaine Bear and then Burt Kreischer's movie The Machine, where it's like, okay, these movies would definitely be entertaining. Do I want to go see them though?
Can I wait till it hits streaming?
Definitely,
Well,
definitely.
that's the cool thing. I don't know if you have Peacock, but like a few of the streaming apps now have like very very soon like the movie will be in theaters and then like a month later it'll hit like Cocaine Bear hit fucking Peacock immediately.
Okay, shit. I'll have to look into that
There was
then.
another one that hit that recently that I was just like, this movie was just in fucking theaters.
Well, shit, shout out my cousin Royce, man. He fucking can fire break a fire stick. That fucking man. That motherfucker can get any movie, any shit, man.
Well, that's like, so I brought up I Was Afraid earlier. When that movie came out the day, it also dropped the same day as Evil Dead Rise, and it was
I
a
remember
really
that,
big
yeah.
switch up because like, you know, I fucking love Ari Aster movies, but I'm a fucking horror fiend. Like,
Yep.
Evil Dead is like fucking royalty. But let me tell you, we made the right choice because I fucking watched Evil Dead. Or I tried to watch Evil Dead Rise, on like on my phone or some shit like that. Like I didn't want to pay for it. Like we paid and saw Bo and it was awesome. And then I tried to watch Evil Dead Rise and it was fucking boring. Like
There you go.
I don't know, man. That's the thing is like I hate especially like with being with like having a partner and stuff like that. If I'm going to the movies, it's not like I'm spending $10 and getting a ticket and sitting there with like no. I have to pay for snacks, a second ticket, drinks for you know what I mean. It's a
Yep.
whole. I go to the movies. I'm spending $60.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah.
Although I will say, one time I did go to the movies by myself, and I tried to lie about it to my girlfriend, and she caught me, and she was so mad. She was like mad, but it was funny to her because she's like, "This is so fucked up. This is what you lie about. Like other dudes are out here cheating and doing drugs, and you're out here lying to me about seeing a movie by yourself."
So we were talking about Trapped Under Ice and Justice earlier. So are you familiar with Carpet Company, the skateboard company from Baltimore? So, you know Supreme. You ever heard of Supreme? They're, I would say, like they're a similar type of brand where they're a skateboard company that they've really been starting to gain popularity and stuff like that. Like they even have their own Nike SB collaboration that came out and stuff like that. So either way, Justice from Trapped Under Ice literally modeled for their recent drop.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up and whatnot because it was pretty cool to see. They've done like collaborations with Turnstile and stuff like that too. So yeah, I wasn't sure if you're familiar with them, but
nah, the whole fashion type thing is kind of like not the aspect of this that I pay much attention to. I mean, no offense to anybody who likes dressing nice.
yeah. So like yeah. That's
he's
modeling the fucking.
He's iconic.
Yeah, they did Moroccan. They were handmade in Morocco. They were lambskin.
This dude fucking
slippers.
grew up in Essex, and he looks like he's fucking Neil Gallagher.
I
Fucking,
know, man.
he could be the biggest rock and roll star in the world.
No, they did a pretty cool video too. I want to do And this is very something like Supreme would do, you know, good quality and shit.
Good morning, Justice. That ain't in Baltimore.
Big fact. Legend.
Make life easy. Sleepwalker by Carpet Company.
Yeah, shout out to the dudes in Carpet
That's
and
pretty
fucking
cool.
shout out to Justice, man. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because they just did a drop recently. I bought one of the pinky rings that they did. Because they did some slippers, which I wanted to get, but like I was telling you earlier before the podcast, I'm trying to spend a little less money, and the
I hear
pinky
that.
ring was actually cheaper, so I was like, okay. But yeah, and it's really cool to because you were saying earlier how like skateboarding and dirt bikes and stuff like that have always been involved with metal and stuff
Yeah,
like that. So it's
yeah.
really cool to see how Carpet has gotten involved with some of the local
Fuck
hardcore
yeah.
and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, and they're another group of people that I'd love to fucking interview one day. And I will interview one day. It's just
based from around here though.
yeah, nah. Carpet started up in Baltimore. You should definitely look into them. They're super sick. And I'll be honest, I got into them super recently too. I was definitely like a little late to the party, but shit, better late than never.
exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah. So I saw you posted this thing from Unearthed Films, which is a website for like independent films and horror flicks and stuff.
This is where we're gonna lose some people.
Hell yeah. So do you kind of want to talk about that a little bit?
So this is in reference to a film series called August Underground.
Yeah.
Which is like pretty much like the most fucked up thing you can watch without it being like actual people being killed.
Yeah.
So Toe Tag is the company that made the films. They're based out of Pittsburgh, and pretty much their thing, like, so Fred Vogel's the main guy. He studied under Tom Savini and like some of the fucking classic goats of like horror FX and makeup and all that stuff. So what their movies are is pretty much fake snuff films where it's like
right.
very extreme visual scenes where you're not seeing people being killed, but you're seeing people like let me give you an example. The first scene of August Underground, it's fucked up, shitty camera. Like, it looks like a fucking camcorder that's been thrown down a hill and kicked by a midget. Like, fucking,
Right.
So they go down to this basement, and there's a girl tied up to a chair, and they fucking cut her nipple off.
Damn.
And, like, she's shit all over the place because she's tied up and pissed.
Fuck.
And they start rubbing the shit in the nipple wound.
Damn.
So that's a taste of that kind of movie. It's very abrasive and rough, but I don't know. For some reason, I get entertained by sick shit like that because it looks real, it looks fucking scary, and it's just terrifying because that's the type of stuff that could happen.
As fucked up as something like that is, it's a little different when you know it's just a
fake.
movie.
And that's the thing, is it's a true testament to how fucking good those dudes were at scenes set up and like I don't know the technical word for like whoever goes somewhere where they're filming and they make that room look like whatever the room is supposed to look like.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
right,
like,
right.
They make it look like a fucking murder scene. Or
Yeah, like set
bitches out.
designers and shit like that.
They're fucking masters of their craft. But also stuff like that, it's rare, and like you can't find a copy of it without paying a bunch. So like recently they're doing a Blu-ray release, so I'm trying to grab it because like I don't want to pay fucking $250 for
right
an out of print DVD,
And another thing that I wanted to bring up, which is in the same realm, have you ever heard of something Manor, McKinley Manor, or something like that?
Okay, so
McCamey Manor.
Yeah, no, that's actually fucked up.
Yeah, so
that's pretty much like what they're doing in fucking August Underground, but to actual fucking people and like causing fucking mental like. Now for those people who don't know, it's the type of place where you pretty much go and it's known as a haunted house, but what it really is you're fucking being tortured for like 12 hours. And they say
for realsies.
They say if you make it through, you get like a fucking large sum of money. But like
people have done it and they don't get it.
Yeah. Like nobody's made it to the point where you get the money. So like,
well, there's two instances. So there was an instance where this dude like he refused to give up, but the guy who run it, McCamey or whatever, was like, "Nah, he's done."
Yeah.
And the guy was literally telling him like, "I want to keep going."
It's a fucking scam.
Yeah. And these people are fucking, they're drowning you. I think they can cut you. They literally drag you by your head. It is crazy.
Now, one thing I will say is, like, no offense to any of these people, but you gotta be a fucked up type of person and want to do that in the first place.
Hell yeah.
But also, the people who run it are just taking advantage of these people who are not in good mental states. Because, like, it's got to be some sort of, like, I think the people who do it are getting off on it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
well, yeah, exactly. And for people who are, like, confused about this, you have to sign a waiver and stuff like that, so you completely waive any right to sue them and stuff like that. And, like, they pretty much tell you everything they're gonna do to you. And in fact, there's a lot of shit that they write in there that they can do that they don't. It's
Like
crazy.
people be throwing up and they like force feed you to throw up back and like
Yeah, I think
it's
they'll feed you bugs, all sorts of
fucking
shit.
nuts. Like
Yeah, I started watching a couple of his videos and I was like, oh my
because
god.
it's real. That's the thing. That's the
Yeah.
fucking difference. Is that's real and that like I don't know, man. I bet that place has caused a lot of people to have fucking horrible like mental problems.
Yeah, no, what's funny is if you go on Google and look it up, there's a lot of fake reviews where people are like, this is an excellent place to bring your children. And then there's like a couple where it's like 1 star and they're like, this place literally gave me PTSD. Do not come here.
Yeah.
I forgot how, I think I saw like a TikTok or a reel about it and I was like, oh, I gotta look into this.
Yeah, I saw it was one of the first like YouTube things back years ago where it's like most extreme haunts. Like to that point, it's not a fucking haunt. That ain't nothing to do with ghosts or fucking monsters. You know what I mean? That's it's just fucking people up.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, somehow that guy's gotten away with it. So I guess you gotta respect the hustle somehow. I don't know. Whatever he's doing to keep doing it, he's doing something right.
Yeah. So you used to work at a liquor store, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this because I got into bourbon recently and I started to realize like how allocated and
Oh,
how
yeah.
rare and hard to find some of these are.
Yeah.
How did you firsthand see like how crazy some of this shit
Oh,
is?
well, pretty much. I didn't realize any of that stuff obviously until I started working, and then like they told me certain bottles of bourbon we keep in the back, and like people we like get them.
Yeah, see,
Like
that's the thing.
you're supposed to put them out and have the way it is each liquor store will only get a certain number of bottles, and it'll be fucking small ass quantities.
Hmm.
So they also can vary how much they charge for it. So
Depending on the state, it's different, but in Maryland, they can gouge the price
yeah,
up.
exactly. So what they'll do is it'll pretty much be like there each town has a bunch of fucking brown noses who will come in and they'll fucking kiss your ass every day of the week for that one day of the week where you get a bottle.
Yeah,
in.
they're called taters. People call them taters, you know.
I mean, I had everyday people come in. You got any? Well, and that's the thing is a lot more recently too. A lot of like bourbons that were more readily available the last couple of years.
Yeah,
have been-
Buffalo Trace,
exactly.
Blantons, all that sort
So
of
people
stuff.
be coming in looking for that stuff, and like first and foremost, we wouldn't get much of it.
Exactly.
But when we did, it's like I don't know how other stores go, but like pretty much the way it was is like if the manager who was working didn't like you, you ain't getting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I kind of get it. And it sucks for people like me
Oh,
who
yeah.
just
Yeah,
turned 21,
exactly.
really want to get into
Yeah.
stuff, and it's like you either got to overpay or just get lucky,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Shout out to House of Liquors. I joined their whiskey club. It's like $30 one-time fee, I think, and then you get it's definitely a one-time fee. I think it's $30. And you get a Glencairn glass for
Okay.
free, and then you basically get emails whenever
Fuck
they
yeah.
get stuff and whatnot.
They have a good craft beer selection too. They get some nice sours. House of Liquors is definitely one of the fucking spots.
Definitely.
One of my preferred spots in town, but
They have a good selection,
yeah,
especially when it comes to the bourbon.
the whole bourbon world is nuts.
It really is, man. And honestly, I've gotten to the point now where I'm like, I don't even really think I want to get into it too much because it's
man.
just not even worth it.
That and like you don't have to chasing after these allocated stuff is it's not worth it. There's so many bottles you can find on the shelf for like a medium price range that are just as good or that are overlooked because like
Right.
the main thing is you just gotta try because like I found bottles for like $30 that are better than bottles I paid $60 on.
Definitely.
You know
That's
what I
why it's
mean?
good to do blind tastes
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
Like that.
Yeah. A blind taste will fuck you up because you'll be sipping Wild Turkey 101 thinking it's fucking
Yeah, that's
something
yeah.
insane. You know what I mean? Like
Ancient
you
Age
never
is a
know,
good
yeah.
one too, and it's like Ancient Age is like it's like I think it's less than $20 or whatever. It's right near $20, and it's literally the same mash bill as Blanton's, which people go crazy over, and it's
Another low bottle that I really fucking I'll love and I'll rep to the day. Evan Williams 101 or Bottled and Bond.
Yes, dude. Hell
label
yeah,
Evan
I have that
Williams is
upstairs.
Fucking delicious.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah. So earlier we were kind of talking about recreational marijuana is about to hit in Maryland. So I kind of wanted to talk about like all the good, the bad, and the ugly. So obviously it's good. because for people who don't understand, we live in a very fucking rural part of Maryland, northern Maryland.
I gotta drive a half hour to get dabs. Like I drive
Right.
out of town to get dabs.
Yeah, if you don't have a medical card, you're pretty much struggling out here. So for the people that are having trouble getting their medicine, it's going to be good for them. But at the same time, it is going to be so packed at the dispensary up here.
It's gonna be expensive. We're
Yep.
gonna get taxed out the ass, and who knows if we're gonna get THC level caps. Like
Oh yeah.
I've heard like we're gonna get concentrates, but concentrates are gonna be capped at like 70 or fucking 80%.
I talked about that briefly with the Alpha Hemp Solution guys. What's happening is like all these synthetic marijuanas, like almost salvia like products are getting out there and they're causing problems. Like people are going to the hospital off some synthetic shit and then it's causing like a bad reputation for actual THC.
Yeah.
So I was reading about that because I follow the Blacklist XYZ, which is like an underground, it's almost like Vice for weed, but like
Gotcha.
good Vice back in the day,
Right.
And they were talking about how, they're starting to think about changing the potency levels on dabs and stuff like that because they think it's, psychosis, weed psychosis. I'm like, bro, y'all are bitches, bro. Get your shit together, bruh.
I got these dabs from the dispensary earlier, and it's like 83% THC. I took a couple. I fucking drove over here like a champ,
Yeah.
See me fucking.
What y'all call weed psychosis, I'm looking for it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Like I said earlier,
I miss that.
it's good when you're looking out the windows and checking the door locked and fucking.
Definitely.
A little paranoid. That's what I'm searching for.
But yeah, no, I'm not looking forward to how packed it's gonna be. That's why I totally
I'm
maxed
sure,
out my last allotment because I'm like,
especially with like a town like Westminster, that's the only fucking place.
so there's 2 dispensaries right now, and I've heard rumors that the one dispensary is gonna be moving somewhere else. So if there's literally gonna be just one dispensary, and here's the thing, it's medical patients only right now, and I can tell you firsthand, it's already packed. Now
I've seen lines out the door of that place.
Yeah, but I've heard that medical patients will have their own line. So
from what I understand, other states that have gone recreational, what they do is it's different time. Like there'll be certain time slots where medical patients go, certain time slots where they're open for recreation.
And a lot of places like medical patients will have their own selection of products that's usually better. And stuff like that. And when I went to Las Vegas and bought a cart out there, like a Stizzy cart, because I bought a Stizzy, or like a FTP Stizzy, but they don't sell Stizzy out here, so I brought it to Vegas, and because I was a medical patient out here in Maryland, I got a discount. So like, places do that shit too. So anybody that has a medical card, go stock up now if you're in the rural parts of Maryland, because trust me when I say these places are gonna be fucking. They're going to be a pandemonium.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking earlier about playing old video games. You said, every year or so you start to, like, recycle through different...
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll fucking get a PS2 and, like, I'll buy, like, 2 or 3 games and play them, and then after I finish a game, I'll take them back to the fucking game store, trade it in for more store credit, get another couple games.
It's a good idea.
And just, because fucking... It's the type of stuff where I'm not gonna like keep around. You know what I mean? I don't have the space to keep around. Like, I'll scratch my itch and then fucking dump my stuff off, and then every couple of years, maybe in a couple of years when I have like a full house and I can like devote like actual collecting stuff, I'll keep my stuff. But as of right now, it's just fun. Every couple of years, I'll just go through like, and it's usually I'm not the biggest video game dudes or biggest video game guys, so like. It'd be the same like 10 to 15 games I play every time.
I hear you, man.
Tony Hawk, the whole Tony Hawk series. That's what I've been doing the last like 2 weeks.
I'm not upgrading my console until GTA 6 comes out. I mean, that's
it ain't worth it.
Yeah, and I started playing Grand Theft Auto 4 recently. Like I've fucked around on the game before, but I never really played the story mode. But I'm playing the story mode now. It's
third highest rated game ever.
And honestly, the physics in it...
Out of any system.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto 4.
Yeah, the physics are way better than Grand Theft Auto 5. It's really just the graphics that lack behind Grand Theft Auto 5.
I looked that up earlier, and I was completely shocked that one was rated higher than 5.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and for good reason, too. I mean, even looking on it now, like, the graphics aren't even that bad. I mean, they seem bad compared to 5, but, like...
Great soundtrack on 4, too.
Oh, hell yeah, the radio.
We got Leeway on there. You got a game with Leeway.
They had their own hardcore station, too, and it was cool that it was actually, like, a hardcore station.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Maryland has had some pretty cool concerts lately that I wanted to talk about, like Disturbing the Peace, Hell in the Harbor Festival, and stuff like that. Um, did you go to any of those?
No. So I'm gonna be completely upfront with you. I'm not the biggest fest guy.
I gotcha.
I'm weird. I don't like big crowds. Like
I feel you.
I get anxiety. Like
No,
it's
yeah.
and also those type of this could make me sound jaded and bitter, but like that type of show brings out all the fucking internet and all the people that like
Mm,
that don't go to the normal stuff. They just go because they
right,
want to go and they want to take their pictures
right,
and they want to
right.
say they went there. And I don't know. That's just kind of not the person I am. But I
I
will
feel
say,
you.
Hell in the Harbor looked fucking awesome, and I was genuinely upset that like if tickets were cheaper, I probably would have been at that one.
Right.
But
Yeah, and work
hardcore
falls.
fests are a little bit different. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I'm not. You ain't gonna see me at This Is Hardcore, and that ain't a knock to This Is Hardcore or anything like that. It just ain't my type of shows. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. I posted earlier about this upcoming show. There's Hatebreed, Jesus Peace, Vain, and Terror.
I'll be there.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hatebreed. I'm not gonna miss Hatebreed. I already told Caroline. I said we gotta find a sitter.
Yeah, well, that's a lineup that's
Yeah.
just insane to pass up on. I don't really go out to shows in the city that much, like I said, because I mean, it's like an hour
Pain in the ass.
drive.
It's pain in the ass.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing, because all the shows are in the evening, so you got to drive out into the city at one of the worst times for traffic.
You ain't get home till fucking 2 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. And I work at 6 in the morning on Saturday, but I was like, I saw this lineup, I was like,
No.
fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm either calling out or I'm just gonna be a fuck. I ain't doing shit the next day.
Jesus Peace, the album they put out, is fucking insane. That was a band
Hell
I kind of
yeah.
fell off on for a while, but like they really fucking impressed me with the new stuff. But just Hatebreed alone, dude, I don't ever want to miss them.
Hell yeah.
They're the greatest hardcore band in my opinion. They are the blueprint for everything.
I can agree with that. First
They-
band I ever moshed to. I'm proud to say that. Everybody bleeds now.
Yeah, I mean they're just. I'm getting chills thinking about it.
Yeah, dude.
I'm a fucking diehard, and so when I saw they were coming around, it's like
Fuck
and
yeah.
and it's a fucking Rise of Brutality tour.
Right?
Which let me tell you, that's one of the like 5 CDs that is constantly in my CD player in my car. I still listen to CDs. I still got the thing you put up on your fucking thing, and Rise of Brutality is just
Yeah, I mean, you got Hatebreed, you got Terror, you got Vane FM, and Jesus Peace. Get the fuck out of here.
now Terror. I mean, couple hits. I've never been the biggest fan, and once again, not nothing for them.
Yeah, I
It's
know a
just-
song or two.
It's just not. I also feel like they have. By the time I found that band, they had so much fucking music out. I felt like it'd be hard to like
right.
take it all in and catch up. But Vane is a band that is fucking cool to see. I've going back to Breve, dude. Breve played with Vane when they were
Oh,
3
hell
piece.
yeah.
Like we played a couple shows with Vane like in 2014, maybe 2015. Like
Sick.
that's a band that's been grinding for years.
Hell yeah.
Years.
And it takes that.
Yeah.
This is the last note I had because I know you gotta get out of here soon. And we were talking about the Stephen King books and stuff like that. It's it's something you've been getting into for a
Yeah.
while now. So talk about your progress with all
Well,
that.
dude, I really like not to like talk too much shit on myself, but like a year or so ago, I was feeling kind of dumb and like feeling like a lot of the stuff I was taking in was not benefiting or helping me like grow. So I started reading, and I'll be honest, like at this point with a lot of the Stephen King stuff, because how fast I'm trying to take it in. A couple of the Dark Tower books I've listened to the audiobook.
That's fine.
Just because
yeah, man.
with how things are going right now, I can't devote the time to sit down and read. But like, books in general is just it's so crazy because it's a whole form of media and stories and entertaining that I never really thought about. You know what I mean? Like I'm huge on music, I'm huge on movies, and like this is just a whole nother medium of a way to take in a story that I never.
People just gotta find the right books.
Especially like with the Dark Tower series, I told you it kind of connects all of Stephen King's work, and like there's a lot of Easter eggs, and it's just the way everything is written, and because he started it in I think like the 70s, and like the last book came out in 2004.
Wow.
So like it's crazy. I don't know if you know, but I think it was like late 90s, 99, something like that. Stephen King got hit by a car and almost
Okay.
died. Like he got fucked up. Like he was in the hospital. So he did a lot of writing in the hospital, and like that was what kind of like he kind of fell off with the Dark Tower, and when that happened, it kind of kicked and put the gear back in him. He's like, I gotta finish the series. Like, if I were to die,
Right.
I'd have an unfinished like my series that I've been working all these years was unfinished. So the last couple books, I don't want to get too into it, but he actually becomes a character in the books himself, and it's very meta and very like
Is that the post I saw where it was like Stephen King dies?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So it's like it's not just horror; it's sci-fi and fantasy
Interesting.
and even western. Like the main character of the whole Dark Tower series is a gunslinger, a fucking cowboy,
Hell yeah.
and you know through fate he gets hooked up with a fucking junkie and a fucking black woman from racist America who is missing both of her legs, and like it's just the whole way everything plays out. It's crazy. I highly suggest anybody who's got any sort of interest in like any sort of fantasy or horror stuff to look into the Gunslinger and the Dark Tower, because once you get into it, it's fucking it's kind of taken over my life, and it's one of those things where like I see a lot of references to it and a lot of stuff that I've never noticed before. Like every fucking Goodwill I go to or bookstore, I see at least one copy of a Dark Tower and a different one from a different releasing, and it's like
Yeah.
the shit is it's all
It
around.
goes
me.
deep.
Yeah.
Hell
But,
yeah.
yeah. So once I finish the Dark Tower, I'll get to start reading the other Stephen King books. So I got a long ways to go, but
Hell yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, bro?
um, I kind of want to give a couple shout outs real quick.
Of course.
So first, shout out to Dawn of the Horror Cast.
Hell yeah.
Alex, I've done a couple episodes with him. I've been meaning to get back on it. Big shout out to Camp Nightmare, which is a podcast from Frederick.
Okay.
Local musicians, filmmakers, two dudes from Frederick that just talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
horror and
I'll get in
fucking
touch with them for sure.
all things local horror. They go to conventions and um, just a really cool local fucking podcast. Another podcast that
Yeah, I love learning about other local podcasts.
yeah, and it's cool because they you get to listen to stuff like that, and when they talk about things that have to do with around them, like I know Frederick, so like I know what's
Right.
happening, and also like I know that those two dudes are actually in their town doing stuff. Like Jordan's a filmmaker. He's fucking got a new movie coming out, The Only Ones. It's gonna be
Okay,
awesome.
shit.
And JB is a musician, and they both grind. So I've been a big fan of them. I suggest anyone from around this area to check that shit out, especially if you're into horror movies.
Fuck yeah.
Big shout out to Caroline, my girlfriend.
Of course.
She's the reason I do everything. She keeps me going.
And thanks for supporting.
Yeah, and yeah, that's really about it, man.
All right, man.
I love cutting it up, and I wish I had more time, honestly.
Yeah,
'Cause
no worries,
I could,
man.
I could talk to you all night if I had the time, but
Yeah, and of course, man, I will always thank you and have love for you coming on my podcast and being the first guest, because I've been able to do a lot of cool shit since then.
I
And
appreciate the opportunity, man.
and no, trust me when I say, when this shit goes big, man, you will I will make sure to remember what you did, brother.
I appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, man.